Good morning. This is Kathy for Getting Chatty with Kathy, and I want to thank you for joining us today. Um, we're hitting up the start of like July and August here right away, and man, we have had a lot of rain and wind. I am ready for the heat. I'm sure a lot of you guys are there with me already. I find in Saskatchewan, our summer months is what keeps us going. It's literally what we live for in the winter. So we're all probably feeling a little ripped off these days. I want some really nice hot summer days. Please, thank you. Get on that weather. Now, it's just me today, which is kind of a little bit different than my usual. I thought it was kind of a special day here in the studio, and I wanted to just have a few minutes with you guys. I don't know if you guys have heard on the news, but CJTR is actually moving over to Access Communications. They graciously took over our broadcasting license, or I'm not sure what the technicalities of that is, but any case, the long and short of it is we are actually moving into that Access building, and I am just so excited. I actually had a chance to get onto Talk of the Town with Lisa Peters, and while I was there, I got to stick my head into where the studio for us is going to be, and I tell you, I'm so excited. It's like an upgrade, a refresh for the studio. So we are now in our final days at this old studio in the warehouse district. I just kind of felt like that was special. I don't know if you guys know, but my dad had a show. He used to play Ukrainian music out there on the waves for many years with some of his friends. He actually did it up until basically when he passed away. So I just always have had a really soft spot for the station and for community radio, obviously because of his influence. It was funny, we were packing up some of the boxes in the manager's office, and I actually was able to pull up a file, and it had his writing on the application form, and they had put some pictures of him in there, and it just kind of feels like I'm a little bit at home. Yeah. So we're really excited to have that move to the new studio. It's going to be a facelift for CJTR. It's going to be a new, fresh, and I am so incredibly grateful to be a part of it. For those of you out there who wonder how we can get a show like this on the airs, it's really simple. If you go online to cjtr.ca, you can actually find the application form. You have to just fill it out and also be a member. I think that's $25 or $35 or something like that. And then there's a review committee that like goes over all the applications. And when slots open up, select their people to go onto the show. So it's quite exciting for all of us. Yeah. And we all volunteer, right? So this is just our way of giving back to the community or helping create a community. I'll tell you guys a little secret though. This summer, I'm actually taking a break. So this is really like the last recording for me till I'm in the new shop. I'm going to take a break over the summer months for July and August. Last year, I came in and I recorded all summer long. And really, like, the agreement for us hosts is we have to do 40 shows a year. And I've done way more than that. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I pull out some of my favorite episodes? And we're going to play those over July and August. Since I'm such a new show, I figured there's probably a few episodes that lots of people could stand to hear again. So that's actually going to be happening through July and August, which is going to give me a little bit of time with my girls. They're off school. Nora will be turning 11 over the summer months, and I have Edith, who's 8. So they keep me on my toes, and their dad works full time. So it's just one of those many things about working at home that I love. Is my goal is to, really just take care of the girls when they're off school so I can be around and really take it all in with them. Because as we all know, it goes so quick, and I don't want to miss a minute with them. let me tell you guys about some fun stuff that's going on this summer for my family, for my business. I want to just kind of let you guys know of things that make me excited these days. Okay, so I had an idea a while ago that the bricks and mortar store in the airport, it should be maybe done in a different way. I just think that Regina's airport, the hours that people come and go from the airport, it's impossible to have like a manned storefront for all those hours. Your costs for, having somebody work would be astronomical. And I've been lucky enough to be able to see lots of different airports over the years, and I'm always interested in all the things that go on in them. There's some really, 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 really cool airports out there where they have movie theaters, they have sleeping pods, sleeping rooms, they have vending machines. There are tons of different things. It's just like a little mini city, some of them. When I started QC Gifts and I was selling items at the bricks and mortar store at the airport, I had always kind of thought like, man, like what are your staffing charges? I just thought they'd be astronomical. So I had actually reached out to the airport and I had said, had you guys ever considered doing like a gift shop and a vending machine? So the first time I asked, it was still bricks and mortar were rolling at the airport. They were open, so maybe the timing wasn't ideal. But after they closed, I reached out again and I said, hey guys, like, let's try this. Like, let's set up something at the airport that is available 24/7 to the people coming and going. And let's just see if they'll embrace this. So what we did, or I did, was I submitted a proposal to the airport authority. And I just said, this is what I want to do. And we talked back and forth and we got to a point where we thought we could do a pilot. So I'm really, really excited to say I have these machines coming. They're actually currently getting adjusted. So what I did was I knew vending machines obviously existed. And after talking to the airport, I kind of got a better understanding of what the needs of the airport would be. They need to be really functional, high quality machines where they're not breaking down, right? I don't want to get phone calls at 4 a.m. to get somebody's stuck popcorn or something like that. So I had to make sure these were really good machines. I wanted, something that was user friendly too, because a lot of us, even though, we are pretty techie on our phones when it comes to buying stuff, it's so nice to have it easy. So what I did was I found a supplier out in Toronto and they're working with me to actually design these machines so that they'll fit all my different products that QC Gifts offers. So there's going to be stuff from other merchants and myself, and I'm putting them into this vending machine. So we're going to put 2 machines into the airport. One will be in security and the other will be out so that people coming and going can, pick up some touristy items. It's kind of a risk, obviously. I'm buying new machines. I'm starting something here in the city that's, a little bit new in theory. So I'm hoping that they're embraced. I'm excited. They're supposed to arrive and be set up, for sure by July 1st. If you're out and about and you're going to the airport, maybe take a peek and see if you can find some of Chatty Cathy's gift box machines. They're going to have wheat on the sides of them. So I'm hoping that they're distinct and, they make you guys want to come and look at it. So we'll see what happens. If it goes good, maybe, the next new thing will be, more machines. We'll see. I'm optimistic about it and excited to see what happens. So another thing that's going on this summer that I think is pretty fun for me and my family is we will be going on a family trip. Usually I like to stay in Saskatchewan for the summers. I have to say we have a cabin at White Bear. We can spend a lot of time out there if we want. We also, are lucky enough to have a backyard to just kind of rest and sunbathe in for the summer months. So I'm not really motivated usually to go out of town. In the winter months, yes, of course. But, when it's like July and August, I don't really want to go many places because honestly, this is like stunningly beautiful here, just gorgeous. But sometimes you gotta, make the trips to visit family or to see those places in their perfect months. So we're gonna take a flight, the girls, Gus and I, and we're gonna head to Ottawa. Gus has his aunts there, so we're gonna stay with them, and I'm sure that they're going to be excellent tour guides of our Ottawa. And then while we're there, we decided, since our girls are in French, to take a train. So we're going to take a train and go to Montreal. And we booked a little Airbnb in Old Montreal. And I'm really hoping that that's going to help ignite, a passion for our kids in the language of French. I don't speak French, but I definitely see the value in it, and I'm wanting my kids to really have that advantage because I've seen it between Angus and I. Angus, my husband, he took French immersion. He's actually been certified in French, and he works at FCC, and maybe not today is using it every day, but in other roles when he's been working there has used his French, and I've been a little envious of it. I also spent a year teaching English in Korea. And when I say teaching English in Korea, I mean I was teaching preschoolers. And during that time, I was able to really see these children that I spent 12 months with learn basically no English to us having conversations, joking around and stuff in just 1 year. So I know at a younger age, learning a language is so much easier. I really want them to understand why, the extra work is worth it right now. And so I really think this trip to Montreal is going to be a really nice treat for them to, take a snapshot as to why we're making them learn French and why we're making them do all that extra hard work. Another thing that I thought we could talk about before the summer months hit us, like July and August, is kind of give you guys some of my favorite things to do in around the prairies. Since July and August is so incredible, I thought that maybe I could tell you guys a few of my favorite things. In the summer in Regina, my number one now is the Wascana pool. For those of you that haven't hit it up, it's an outdoor pool with a water slide. It's fancy. It's brand new. I think it's been open maybe a year. The water's hot. There's a hot tub. I mean, for Regina, this is primo. And it's right in the center of our city park. So you can, really be in a little piece of paradise in the city and also have a lot of fun for a really reasonable price too, because it's a public pool. So you're not, shelling out $100 for all of the family to go there, and you can bring your lunch in, I think. I'm not sure. So Regina, definitely, that's my number one. For a rainy day, I have to say in Saskatoon, I love the Western Development Museum. Have you guys checked that out? It's a small town indoors. So you have from 100 years ago, and you can walk through the museum as if you're in a small town. They also have a neat one in Moose Jaw, in Yorkton, and a few different places around Saskatchewan. So Western Development Museums are one of my favorite things to do on a rainy day, for sure. If you're driving from Regina to Saskatoon, just a little side road you might want to consider is taking the Wynyard route. I was lucky enough to be in an advisory group coordinated by WESC here in Regina. And what they did was they connected, I think there's 8 of us, 8 entrepreneurs. We all met weekly for a 2-hour session. And each one of us was a small business owner, female run, obviously. And we would chit chat about what was going on and help each other through, challenges that we were going through at the time. And so one of those people in the group was Ria, who owns Freba Pottery. So Freba Pottery is outside of Wynyard. She is a teacher that quit to do pottery. And that's not just the only thing that's super cool about her, because that's super cool all in its own. But what also is really cool is she has a little store on her family's farm outside of Wynyard that when you're driving past it, you can go into it's all, I don't want to say it's a shed, but it's pretty close to a shed. But it's so cool. She has shelves all around it, and inside she puts her beautiful pottery in it, and then she just asks people to do the honor method for payment. So basically she doesn't work there. She puts her work in there, and then people come to the shed that she has signs out for. They drive on into her family's farmland, park, go in, see if they like anything, and then they leave the amount there, or maybe they e-transfer it. I'm not exactly sure. So how cool is that? So the coolest thing is so I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're on social media, you've heard of the Saskatchewan Wanderer. Well, he featured her in a recent video, and it's now his #1 video. It's already gotten over 500,000 views. I think they're trying to get it to 1 million right now. It's insane. Anyways, it's made the studio so busy for Maria. She can't keep the pottery in the shed. It's flying off of the shelves. Talk about the power of social media. She is living her best life, selling her work, and people are just coming and being good people and paying the correct price for all of these pieces while she's inside, doing her work. She recently told me her goal now is to have 100 pieces in the studio, 100 pieces in the shed, and 100 pieces in storage in her parents' kind of house, so that if they need extras, they can grab. So she has a buffer, because right now there's none. And to make this lady even better, because we all were in this West collaborative group, she asked if I wanted to have some of my items in her gift shop too, her shed gift shop. So a little plug for myself too, I suppose, is I actually have some of my tea towels, and we made some coasters and magnets together for people to kind of celebrate the history around Wynyard. It's so cool what we have around here. It truly makes me so proud to live in the Prairies, where, I had a friend who is up from the States a couple of weeks ago, and we took him up to Waskesiu. And while we were there, he had never seen such wide open spaces, and the sunset and the freshness of the land. It's such a beautiful, beautiful piece of my heart. It was something I was really proud to share with him. And I don't think people really outside of the Prairies understand that type of love we have for it. It's pretty incredible. So if you're in the Prairies, another really cool place that I like in Manitoba, I have to say, is Clear Lake. When I was I guess I was probably about 18. A group of my girlfriends, we went up there to Clear Lake and spent a week. And we've actually gone back and done a second one since. And I've now taken my family there multiple times. And it's very similar to Waskesiu, but I'd say it's closer, to Winnipeg. And it is just a little piece of paradise too. You can really enjoy your camping. It's hard to get into the site and to the cabin, so you have to make sure to book fairly early. But if you can snag a spot, sometimes people cancel and can't make it, and then all of a sudden something's available. You got to jump in and take those moments, because I truly, it is a gem in the Prairies to go up to Clear Lake and enjoy that spot. Now, I've hit up Saskatchewan. We've hit up Manitoba's Clear Lake. Not to mention, of course, Winnipeg is wonderful. We all know that. I love going to the Forks and checking out all the shops around there. It's so trendy and cool. Alberta has a lot of places that I love a lot. Really. I think that Calgary is a great place. Canmore, going up into the mountains. Calgary has a lot of things that are quite nice. It's very busy there though, so I do think that, it's always nice to go check it out, but I always love coming back to Regina. But there's some really nice little spots that I want to tell you guys about when you're going to Banff. Most of us would probably consider that like the mountain spot to visit. But I challenge you guys to maybe go off the beaten path a little. There are some other spots in that area that have just as striking of a view and maybe a little less busy if you're into that sort of thing. I actually, this past year, got to drive through the mountains. I flew to Vancouver and I picked up a car, actually. I couldn't find the car that I wanted here. So after many months of looking, I finally found one in Vancouver, picked it up, and I got to drive it back to Regina. And doing the drive through over the course of 2 days really gives you a quick snapshot of like the terrain change. And it's so vastly different. Like I felt when I was driving through the mountains, I was in like a James Bond movie, and it's so weaving through the mountains. It's spectacular, and you can be as high up as the clouds. I also love it because I always get to go through Salmon Arm whenever I'm doing that route, and I have a bestie that lives there. So of course I got to spend the night and get a little visit in with her. And then once you kind of take Salmon Arm and you drive through and you get all the way to Banff, it just kind of ends. And then you're into the flat zone that kind of lasts a little bit longer than one could ever imagine. I remember in high school, a girlfriend of mine's family came from Holland and they were visiting in the city, and they had asked her to take her to Calgary because they knew that was the closest city. And when they jumped into the car and started the drive, little did they know how long and how spacious it was between cities. When you drive from Regina to Calgary, you do get like sporadic, small towns and the odd small city. Odd. Whereas, when you're going through Europe, of course, it's just constantly little spitovers of everything everywhere, of people. No, not here. It's very vast and empty. It's very interesting to bring people to that space so that they can see it. In any case, so for the next 2 months, I'm going to be chilling out with the fam. I am excited to experience Ottawa and Montreal and just to rest and recharge. For those of you interested in ever coming onto the show, we now have a form you can fill out on my website. If you click onto qcgifts.ca, or if you go onto CJTR and look up Chatty Cathy, there's links to all of these things where you can click on it, just fill out the form, and we can see if we can get you guys onto the show. I really am hoping to bring in more people that shine a light onto, Regina and the awesome things that are going on here. So please share the link, spread the word. Let's get like a voice of awesomeness out about Regina. I am happy to bring anybody you guys want onto the show that you recommend. Thank you, everybody, for this past year of allowing me to, fill the airways with my voice. And I look forward to this coming year and what's going to unfold. So thank you, everybody. And you guys take care out there. Bye now.